governments or companies borrow money from people like us and promise a fixed returns. In this video, we are starting a series of fixed income where I will break down concepts in a simple and practical way aligned with the CFA level 1. So if you are preparing for CFA or just want to understand finance better, this series will help you build strong fundamentals. So let's start with the basics of fixed income securities and their features. So the first thing comes to the mind is, what is a fixed income security? So basically we have two fixed income securities, that is a bond and loan. So fixed income securities are investments where you receive a predictable or fixed cash flows over time. The most common examples are loans and bonds. In simple terms, you are just lending the money, you earn interest and you get your money back. Then we have parties involved in a fixed income security. So we have issuer and investor. So on one side we have the issuer. The issuer is the one who needs the money. This can be either a government, corporation, local authorities, or even some special entities created for some specific projects. On the other side we have investors. These investors are nothing but the bond holders. These are the people who are providing the money, and this can include individuals like you and me, banks, insurance companies, mutual funds, pension funds. So the flow is simple. The issuer borrows, an investor lends the money and earns the interest. Then the next topic is key terminologies. So the first one is related to maturity and tenure. Let's take an example. So let me draw a timeline. So on 1st of April 2026, a bond is issued till 31st of March 2036, let's say. So it is of 10 years. Now what this 10 year and what this 31st March 2036 imply? So this 31st March 2036 is nothing but the maturity of the bond, and the 10 years is the tenure of the bond. Now that this tenure, if the maturity is of 1 year or less, it is called a money market security. If it is more than 1 year, it is called a capital market security. And if it is not having any maturity, then it is called a perpetual bond. So the second terminology is principal or par value or face value. So this is the amount that will be repaid at the maturity. We can take an example of $10,000. Now the next terminology is coupon rate and frequency. Coupon rate is the interest paid as a percentage of the principal. So if the bond is of 10,000 and the coupon, let's say, is of 10%, so what you will be receiving is 10,000 into 10%, that is $1,000 as interest. every year. This can be either annual, semi-annual, quarterly, and monthly. Then we have something known as types of bonds. So as of now I'm just discussing two types of bonds. That one is a floating rate notes, then the other is a zero coupon bond. So floating rate bonds have variable interest and they are based on a market rate plus a fixed margin. So it would be a market rate plus a fixed margin. This fixed margin is usually denoted by basis points. So basis points are used to express small changes in the interest rate. Example, if it is like 1 basis point, so is written that the fixed margin would be of 1 basis point. That means it would be 0.01%. If it is 100 basis point, it becomes 1%. Then we have something known as the zero coupon bonds. So these are the bonds which will have no interest and are issued on discount. So zero coupon bonds do not pay interest during the tenure and are issued at a discount and repaid at a full value. Then we have another concept of seniority. So we have two things, debt and equity in a typical company structure. So debt is always repaid first. So in case of any liquidation, debt holders are the one who will be paid the first, and then the equity holders are paid later. Then we have contingency provision. You can consider them as embedded options. So these are some special features in the bond contract. We can just have three kind of contingency provisions as of now to discuss: a call option, a put option, and a convert option. So a call option allows the issuer to repay early, a put option allows the investor to exit early, and a convertible bonds allow conversion into equity. So this is mainly for an issuer, this is for the investor, and this is like converted to equity. Coming down to a very important relationship between yield and price relationship. So first let's understand what is the yield of the bond. So yield is nothing but the return on the bond. So yield is the return you earn from investing in a bond. Okay. Generally we see a inverse relationship that is the price and the yield. So if the price of the bond increases, the yield is less, and if the price goes down, the yield is higher. Let's take an example. Suppose, let's say the face value is of $10,000 and the coupon rate of a bond is 10%. Right, so somewhere we are getting 1,000 as interest every year. Now case 1. If the market rate is also 10%, then price will stay at 10,000. Case 2, if the market rate goes to 12%, so the new bonds in the market are giving somewhere around 1200 as interest, but our bond is giving only 1000, so this becomes less attractive, and therefore the price needs to be adjusted, so its price falls to adjust the return. Similarly, in case 3, if the market rate goes to 8%, the bonds become more attractive. These are our bonds become more attractive, and therefore the price increases. So basically, when the interest rate goes up, the bond prices fall. When the interest rates go down, the bond prices rise. So these we will learn the calculation of it in the future series of the fixed income topic. Coming on to, we have seen the yield and return. Now we will see one more terminology that is generally used, is the bond indenture. So what is this bond indenture? Bond indenture is nothing but the legal contract between the issuer and the bondholder. So it includes obligations, restrictions, and repayment terms. We also have something known as bond covenants. So the bond covenants, these are the actions the issuer must follow or something like that, return in the bond indenture, or some restrictions on this. So these bond covenants are written in the bond indenture itself. These are of two types. One is affirmative covenant and the other one is negative covenant. Affirmative covenants are the ones that are a must do. We cannot skip it. These are the actions the issuer must follow. Okay. We basically hear two terms in this. One is across default and the other one is pari passu. Across default, if the issuer defaults on any other loan, it is considered default here as well. So if the issuer has suppose issued two kind of bonds, or a bond or a loan, and then it defaults in the other loan or bond, so it would be considered that it has defaulted in our bond as well. Then we have pari passu. This means that all lenders are treated equally. No one is given the priority, so no one gets a priority. Every lender is considered equal. Then we have negative covenants. These are must not do. These are the risky actions. Example, no excessive borrowing should be taken, or no large dividends, or no risky asset sales should be there. So we have understood the basic foundation of the fixed income securities, and basically the features that are there, what comes under the fixed income securities, what is a bond indenture, what is a bond covenant, and how is the relationship between a price and yield. So these are a very basic concepts which will help us building the foundation of the fixed income. And in the next video we will go deeper into the bond pricing and how yields are actually calculated. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to follow and hit a bell icon on FinSense. Thank you.